My boss Mark Williams' attitude toward me at the company where I've worked for 3 months doesn't seem normal. While he has friendly conversations with other employees, the atmosphere tenses when I approach. He rejects my reports, doesn't give me speaking rights in meetings. I try to convince myself, maybe he has high standards. But today when we were alone in the elevator, he looked at me in such a way. As if he knows me, as if he has an old issue to settle with me. There wasn't just authority in that look. There was something personal. But I had never seen him before. At least I thought so. My name is Daniel Carter. I'm 28 years old and work as a software developer in the tech industry. After graduating from university, I gained experience at several startups and finally landed a senior developer position at TechCorp, my dream job. This company was one of the most prestigious tech firms in the city, and working here meant a huge step forward in my career. My first day had started excitingly. HR manager Sarah had given me an office tour and introduced me to my team members. Everyone seemed quite friendly and helpful. Until I met CEO Mark Williams. Daniel, this is Mark Williams, founder and CEO of our company, Sarah introduced. Mark was a medium-height man with gray hair, approximately in his 50s. His attire was flawless, his posture confident. But when he looked at me, even in that first glance there was something cold, calculating, as if he was evaluating me. Daniel Carter, I said, extending my hand. I'm very excited to have the opportunity to work here. He shook my hand, but his grip was firmer than a normal business handshake. His eyes locked onto mine. Carter, he said, repeating my name. Where are you from? I'm from Chicago. But I've been living here for the past few years. An expression I couldn't understand appeared on Mark's face for a moment, as if he was trying to remember something. He just said. I hope you can meet our expectations. And just like that, he turned and left. That cold encounter had disturbed me, but I tried to think first-day nerves. As the first week passed, I began to realize that Mark's attitude toward me wasn't just formal. He was cheerful with other employees during coffee breaks. He asked them questions, listened to their ideas, even asked about their personal lives. But when I approached him, "Hey Mark, I have a question about the new project." When I said, "Mr. Williams," he corrected with a cold voice, "and direct your questions to your team lead." These kinds of incidents started to repeat. In meetings, when I tried to express my opinion, he would cut me off, examine my reports in detail before signing them, and constantly reject them. In the second week, when we were alone in the elevator, the situation became even stranger. "Good morning, Mr. Williams," I said politely. He turned to me and scrutinized me with that cold look. "Is there anything in your past you're hiding, Carter?" "Excuse me? I don't understand what you mean." People usually have things they want to run from. Mistakes they made in the past, people they hurt. The elevator stopped and he got out. I was left in confusion. What did this mean? Why was he questioning me? In the third week, my work suffered. Mark was constantly rejecting my projects, refusing my code reviews, even scolding me in meetings for minor errors. "The code Daniel wrote is below our standards," he said in a team meeting. "Such poor quality work is unacceptable." My colleague Mike at the next desk touched my leg under the table. After the meeting, he came over to me. "Dude, what happened between you and Mark? The guy looks like he wants to drink your blood." "I have no idea, Mike. He's been acting like this since day one." "Strange. Mark is normally a very fair boss. He was very supportive when I started." "He must know something about you." "Did he know something about me?" "But what?" "There was nothing in my past that I was ashamed of or hiding. I was an ordinary person who had lived a normal life, made normal decisions, made normal mistakes." In the fourth week, going to work had become torture. Mark's cold looks, constant criticism, being treated differently from other employees. I was starting to get psychologically exhausted. When I came home in the evenings, my girlfriend Emily had noticed my condition. "Baby, you've been very tense lately. How's work going?" "I'm having problems with my boss. He's targeting me for no reason." "Maybe you could complain to HR?" "It's too early. I don't have anything concrete, just feelings." But this feeling was getting stronger every day. Mark's look at me wasn't just antipathy. It was something deeper, more personal. As if he knew me from somewhere, as if he had an old score to settle with me. Friday of the fifth week, I had stayed late at the office. My project deadline was Monday and I was revising it for the third time due to Mark's perfectionist standards. Around 9 p.m., in the silence of the building, I heard a phone conversation from Mark's office. "No, Linda, I can't tell him. She's not my daughter anymore, remember? That kid abandoned her." I stopped and started listening. It was obviously a personal conversation, but that kid part caught my attention. I know she suffered. I know she fell into depression. But as long as Daniel Carter works here, I have to remind him of this pain. When I heard my name, my heart stopped. Daniel Carter. Was he talking about me? That kid ruined my daughter's life, Linda. When he left Emily. Emily? My Emily? No, impossible. Emily's last name was Johnson and her father's name was Richard. Not Mark. But then I remembered something Emily had mentioned. Dad owns a big company, but we don't talk anymore, she had said once. Family issues. The phone conversation continued. 18 months ago, Emily had to move to another city. She was receiving depression treatment. Because of that Daniel Carter. That's when everything fell into place. Emily's father was Mark Williams. And Mark knew about my past with Emily. But how was this possible? Emily had never said her father's name was Mark. She always said Dad. And Emily's last name was Johnson, not Williams. Then I remembered. In the first days when I met Emily, she had said, when my mom and dad divorced, I took my mother's last name. My relationship with my dad isn't very good. Emily Williams. Emily Johnson. The same person. The phone conversation had ended. I could hear sounds of Mark leaving his office. I quickly closed my laptop, grabbed my bag, and ran to the elevator. In the elevator, my mind was in chaos. Mark was Emily's father. And he thought I had abandoned Emily. But I hadn't abandoned Emily. She had abandoned me. 18 months ago. Yes, Emily and I had problems during that period. Our relationship was strained. But I didn't want to break up. Emily was the one constantly picking fights, constantly saying, maybe we should take a break. Finally, Emily had said, I need someone else, Daniel. I've lost the feelings I had for you. I had begged tearfully, Emily, please, we can work these things out. I love you. I don't love you anymore, Daniel. It's over. And Emily had left Chicago and moved to another city. I had been depressed for months. Now Emily's father thought I had abandoned her and was taking revenge. When I went to work the next Monday, I saw everything with different eyes. Mark's cold looks, malicious comments, constant criticism. It was all because of Emily. But how could I explain to him? Would I say, Mr. Williams, actually I didn't abandon your daughter, she abandoned me? During lunch break, I told Mike about the situation. Dude, Daniel, this is a very complex situation. The boss is your ex-girlfriend's father and he has wrong information. What should I do? Should I quit? First, try to clarify the situation. Maybe you can talk to him. But Mark didn't seem open to talking with me. Especially when I brought up the topic of his daughter, I couldn't predict how he would react. Throughout that week, Mark's behavior got even worse. As if after that phone call, he had become even more angry, even more determined. Carter, this report is unacceptably poor quality, he said in front of everyone on Wednesday. Either you produce work that meets our standards or you can't work here. I had reached my tolerance limits. That evening, I went to Mark's office. Mr. Williams, can I speak with you? Do you have an appointment? No, but there's an important matter. Mark looked up from his desk. What matter? The Emily matter. Mark's face turned ice cold. He put his pen down on the desk and leaned back in his chair. Don't you dare mention that name. Mr. Williams, Emily is your daughter and my ex-girlfriend. But it's not how you think. Shut up. Mark shouted, standing up. You abandoned my daughter. You put her into depression. Mr. Williams, please listen. I didn't abandon Emily. She abandoned me. Lies. Emily told me what happened. How you suddenly abandoned her, how she had to move to another city. I don't know what Emily told you, but the truth is, Emily wanted to break up with me. I tried very hard to convince her otherwise. But she. Are you calling my daughter a liar? No, maybe she just didn't tell you the complete truth. Mark slammed his desk. Get out of here. And never mention my daughter's name again. That night at home, I decided to talk to Emily. But after Emily and I broke up, she had changed her contact information. I couldn't find her. I searched on social media. I couldn't find her under Emily Johnson. When I searched for Emily Williams, nothing came up either. As if she had never existed. The next week, Mark's pressure increased even more. I was called by HR and received a performance warning. Daniel, the feedback from Mark isn't very good, said HR manager Sarah. There are areas you need to improve. Sarah, this isn't fair. Mark has been targeting me from the beginning. This is a very serious accusation, Daniel. Do you have proof? I had no proof. I only had my feelings and the Emily matter, which I couldn't explain. That weekend, I met with Mike at a cafe. Daniel, the situation is getting out of control. You need to start looking for another job. But Mike, this is unfair. Mark has wrong information and is taking revenge. You're right, but you can't prove the truth to him. You can't find Emily to testify. An idea came to mind. Mike, what if I try to find Emily's friends? Maybe they know what really happened. I remembered Emily's old friend Lisa. I contacted her. Daniel. Wow, it's been a long time. How are you? I'm fine, Lisa. I want to ask you something about Emily. Emily? She's going through some tough times lately. She reconciled with her father, started working at his company. At the company? Which company? Her father's company. TechCorp. She started last month. My heart rate accelerated. Emily was working at TechCorp. At her father Mark Williams' company. Lisa, is Emily in the city now? Yes, she moved back last month. Why did you ask? It's a very long story, Lisa. Can I talk to Emily? Her old number doesn't work. Lisa gave me Emily's new number. That night I called Emily. The phone rang and rang, but she didn't answer. I sent a message. Emily, it's Daniel. We need to talk. Very important. The next morning the phone rang. Daniel? What do you want? Emily? It's good to hear your voice. How are you? I'm fine. Ask what you want. Your father is Mark Williams, isn't it? There was a long silence. How do you know? Emily, I work at TechCorp. Your father is my boss. What? Are you serious? Emily, your father is trying to fire me. He thinks I abandoned you. Daniel. I couldn't tell my father exactly what happened. What do you mean, Emily? My relationship with my father was very bad during that period. I just said, Daniel abandoned me. I didn't explain the details. But Emily, I didn't abandon you. You abandoned me. Don't you remember? I remembered, Daniel. But I was ashamed to tell my father. I couldn't tell him that the decision to break up came from me. Emily, now your father is taking revenge on me. I'm about to lose my job. God, Daniel, I'm so sorry. I'll talk to my father. Will you talk? Will you tell the truth? Yes, I'll tell him. I'll talk to my father tomorrow morning. When I went to work the next morning, I was tense as usual. When I saw Mark, I expected him with his usual cold look. But this time it was different. When Mark saw me, he seemed surprised. Then he slowly came over to me. Carter. Mr. Carter, can we meet in my office? We went to his office. Instead of sitting at his desk, Mark stood in front of me. I talked to Emily, he said quietly. Okay. I'm very sorry. Emily told me the truth. You didn't abandon her. The decision to break up came from her. My feeling of relief was so great that my knees almost gave way. Mr. Williams, No, please listen to me. As a father, I was trying to protect my daughter. But I had wrong information. I was very unfair to you. Thank you for your understanding. Daniel, can I call you by your name? This has become a very personal situation. Of course. Daniel, Emily was very affected by you during that period. But when she made the decision to break up, she couldn't tell me the details. Because she felt bad, she said, Daniel abandoned me. I started breathing fire. I understand, Mr. Williams. Emily was going through a very difficult period. You can call me Mark. And Daniel, I want to make it up to you. How can I compensate for the difficulties I caused you these 3 months? Just treating me normally at work is enough, Mark? No, that's not enough. I'm promoting you. You're becoming senior lead developer. With a salary increase. I was surprised. It's not necessary, Mark, just. It is necessary, Daniel. And one more thing. Emily wants to see you. My heart accelerated. Really? After talking to me this morning, she said she wanted to meet with you. If you want to, of course. I want to, I said without hesitation. Come to my office during lunch break. Emily will come too. When I went to Mark's office during lunch break, I saw Emily. For the first time in 18 months. She looked the same, beautiful but a bit more mature. Hello, Daniel, she said in a soft voice. Hello, Emily. Mark left us alone. Daniel, I'm so sorry. For not being able to tell my father everything. Emily, the past is past. What matters is now. You? How are you? Are you happy? I'm fine, Emily. How are you? I'm fine too. I got therapy, my peace with myself increased. It's good to hear you're well. Daniel. Our breakup. It was very painful. Yes, for both of us. I was very confused during that period. Maybe I made a mistake. Emily, we can't change the past. But now we're both different people. You're right. But Daniel, maybe we can make a new beginning? As friends? I smiled. As friends, of course. And so the 3-month nightmare ended. Mark now treats me normally, even became a fatherly boss. Emily and I have coffee as friends sometimes. But most importantly, I learned that the truth always comes out. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes it's painful, but the truth eventually shows itself. Mark is now one of the most supportive bosses in the company. My relationship with Emily is good. And I'm now more interested in what I'll experience in the future rather than what happened in the past. Because life is lived by looking forward, not backward. And everyone has a story. There isn't always a bad guy in this story. There are just incomplete information and misunderstandings. My work at the company is going very well now. With Mark's trust and support, I'm involved in big projects. Just last week he said in a meeting, we couldn't have accomplished this project without Daniel. A warmth spread inside me. Because success isn't just doing the job well. Success is staying right when faced with difficulties, never giving up on seeking the truth, and continuing to believe that there is goodness in every person. Mark Williams is no longer just my boss, he's a person I respect. Emily is no longer just my ex-girlfriend, she's a valuable friend. And I'm no longer just Daniel Carter, I'm someone who has learned life's lessons, matured, and grown stronger. This story taught me that sometimes life tests us. Sometimes we face injustice. But with patience, honesty, and never giving up, we can overcome any difficulty. And most importantly, truth always wins. Always.